Good morning. This is Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody of the Richardson Group, your real estate experts in Southeast Tennessee with more than 20 years of experience serving the Tennessee Valley. We're answering your questions about buying, selling, and investing. Call or text the studio at 267-1023. And we're live on the Richardson Group Facebook page. You can also reach us at our office at 790-7979 or online at rg423.com. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Jody. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, it's been a while.
Feels like it, yeah, absolutely.
Kind of nice to be back in the bunker a little bit, though.
Well, I was just laughing. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can tell that we're not in our usual studio. We're still in what we affectionately refer to as the bunker, but remodeling at the station. But it's hilarious because we come in and have to, try to figure out what works. So we've got such a ramshackle set of headsets and lighting and.
Although
Cindy just cranked the headphones so high, I'm pretty sure my eardrum is ruptured. So if I'm talking really loud, just, bear with me.
I can't hear anything.
Right when the music came
I didn't
on,
even think
like,
about you having on two ears.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah, no, which I kind of like it because it kind of gives me the opportunity. I'm on the other side of the room, but I actually see and talk to you guys and have a conversation, which is kind of nice. Normally, I'm just kind of over on the other side doing my own little thing there. So.
Well, and even seating,
nice.
We laughed. If you know us in real life, Cindy is much taller than I, and I'm sitting on a stool, and the hilarious part is I don't change height at all when I get on and off the stool. So, anywho, all that to say, finally some beautiful weather.
She looks like my 10-year-old child that should be in the back seat.
Hey, whatever works. I'll take it. I could think of worse things than being called 10 at my age. So, I'll take it. Rather that than old. But big plans for this weekend? Anybody got anything fun?
No. Today, just waiting for the rain to hit.
Yeah. Finally some good weather and good opportunities. I know we got out and walked around some new construction yesterday, and just nice, exciting to be able to take advantage of being outside a little bit. So
Seen a whole lot of new construction.
I was going to say,
now.
and I think historically this time of year is kind of the it. This is go time for a lot of
builders.
people. Yeah, builders and people that have been on the fence or thinking about moving, buying, selling, pool weather. What is it that makes us enjoy our home and love it. So
I know I'm seeing a whole lot more people that are starting construction, not just builders to resell, but people that are building personally.
Well, and
customs
with everything, and we're going to get into a lot of that. What the media is saying, what's going on, things that we're hearing. But for a long time, it's so expensive. Building materials are so expensive. It's so expensive. It's too expensive to build a home. And that has been the case, unfortunately, for a lot of people. But we're starting to see building materials come down, subcontractors become a little more available. Yeah, so instead of it taking a year and a half to build a house, we're back to that 5 to 6 months range for a lot of people. So
yeah, I do think that the surveyors are still backed up. So
for goodness sakes, if any of you people out there have young children or college-age children, look into surveying, soil scientists, even electricians, plumbers, all those trades where those are kind of a dying art. I mean, what do we have, Jack? I think 2 buyer's agents on our team right now looking for a soil scientist. And they literally, you talk about, I want to be a soil scientist. You just name your price and tell somebody how long they're going to wait. And we say, yes, sir. And do what they tell us.
It's the point now to where you call them, it just goes straight to voicemail and they tell you, hey, I'm booked out through June.
And if this works, leave me a message. And if not, sorry, find somebody else. So,
well,
really
I called a surveyor this week. I need a house surveyed for the title work, and he said that he was backed out until the 1st of August.
And I mean, that's not for lack of people. They're not lazy. They're just so busy they can't get to you. So I know soil scientists. The last time I needed somebody, I had to get somebody from above Knoxville to come to Chattanooga. And that even we waited, I think, 60 or 90 days for that one. So,
well, I think that's where Polk County,
if you're familiar with
Polk
County,
Benton area, east of Cleveland up toward Lake Parksville in that area, that city actually has their own soil scientist.
Hired him this year. Talk about a big move. Because
that I wish a lot of the different counties would follow suit, because that's huge.
And just if you
talk about a benefit to the residents.
If you don't know, if you are thinking about building or
dividing off part of your
property,
land,
doing something, those are hoops that you have to jump through in order to get approval or begin or move to the next phase. You can't just say, "Oh, sounds good." So You need to know if the land will perk. You need to know the size of the land, the boundaries. You can't just say, "Oh, we'll worry about that when they get to it." Everybody's sitting on hold waiting for that to happen.
Right.
So, big asset and money move for Polk County. And in a lot of ways, they're making really smart decisions.
Yeah, and I think the shortage on the surveyors, my experience is because so many of them have retired.
Well, and you have to have an apprenticeship period. So you've got to find somebody who's actively doing it, have a relationship with them enough to get that apprenticeship program and have enough time. But like Cindy said, it's a dying art because
Yeah.
most of the people that are doing it are of retirement age.
Right.
So we have one surveyor who, I love working with, and I mean, he told me the other day, I think he's been a surveyor for 50 years or something. It's ridiculous. And he's like, I'm tired. I'm working more now than I ever have. And there's not an option. There's nobody else. So,
Right, and he's had such a clientele base, it's hard to say no to people.
Yeah.
So he feels like he's got to stick around and keep doing these.
so kids, goodness, I have a son that's about to be a junior in high school. And I'm like, have you ever thought about maybe, I don't know,
Soil
surveying or
scientist?
being a soil scientist, something, a trade. I mean, there's a lot.
And the thing about it in this area too, we are so heavily reliant on septic,
Yeah.
and we're coming up on a time to where you're seeing, Southern Bradley County, part of Polk County, Bledsoe, Sequatchie, Ray, Meigs, that you're starting to reach that point to where a lot of these systems that were put in
Older,
the 40s,
yeah.
50s, 60s that were put in correctly for that particular
We know what we know
point of
now.
time,
Yeah.
what we know now, those are coming up on their end life. So you're having to come in and have those redone.
And again,
things
that's
redone.
not something you can just say, I'm going to redo it. You have to
Right.
have somebody. So you're waiting. A lot of times you're waiting with a non-working septic system.
Right.
You got to wait on somebody to come and fix it. So
Yeah, and then that's all got to be permitted and stated. And if you have to move it,
Oh,
from
but
where it's at, yeah,
talking about
that's a big deal.
septics, though, right now there is a grant. So if anybody has a septic tank a septic system that you're having issues with,
call me.
yeah, there is a grant through is it state or national, federal?
It is I know on the state level, I'm not sure exactly where it came from. It's, you get involved with TDEC. And I kind of inadvertently, it's one of those, it was a blessing in disguise. Had a listing that while we were under contract, imagine this, you list your home, you go to all the work to do that. And while we're under contract, the septic system backs up into the actual house.
Wow.
And we find out that they need a full septic replacement that just was not in the budget. And you can't call a septic company and say, hey, can you spot me a $18,000 system and I'll pay you at closing? That doesn't happen, much less you need a working septic system in your
Right.
home. So we were able to get in on the very beginning of that and have a very successful experience. And then as life would have it, 2-3 listings later, same thing. House is under contract, front yard all of a sudden is not draining, $11,000 septic system. And in both of those cases, it has been absolutely seamless.
Yeah.
So
if anybody's interested, if you're having issues and you need information on that, you can go to our website, rg423.com, and shoot us a message, and Jody will reach back out to you and get you in touch with the right people.
yeah, and we've got, septic companies that now are very versed on what we have to do. And I will give, at least in Bradley County, I have had an excellent experience with the local departments, the TDEC, the people that have to come out and survey that and do what they need to do in order to make that happen for you. I think one system we got from start to finish in 10 days.
Wow.
And the other one in 12. So, and that's payment, grant approved, new septic permit, everything that we needed to do in less than 2 weeks in both cases. So it is absolutely doable. And that's one of those things, the money's there. So if you don't take advantage of it, that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it while it's there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is trying to track down. We had so many things came out of COVID, and that's where a lot of that bucket money for the septic systems came from. All came out of county, went to the state sent it to the county, so they just started doing buckets.
Well, and kudos to them for recognizing a problem. We have systems like Jack said that are at their end life, and that's a big, whether you're getting ready to sell or you're living in your home, you can't sleep on that. That's
Right.
something you got to handle. you know,
Right. That's the last thing you want to do is wake up to your septic system backed up into the house.
or floating in the front yard. Nobody. That's not fun.
Yeah, you don't want the kids to go running across the front yard playing, and all of a sudden they're ankle deep in that. So that is definitely not the thing that you want to happen. You know, I know we've talked about this a lot, Cindy and I have, and Jody too, because all of our chairs back up to each other at the office. You know, when we jump on the Googler and we start just looking up real estate stuff, it's amazing the stuff that comes across as the headlines for a lot of these articles that you
The sky is falling.
Make sure that you read the small print.
Yeah, and it's weird because, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's like back with the newspaper. You always wanted to have the hot headline. Now it's about, are you going to buy the magazine? Well, I'd say buy a newspaper, but they don't hardly print them anymore for the most part. So, or get you to click on an article. That's the thing. They're designed to drive click traffic.
Clickbait.
Same thing with an email that you get. They want you to click on that email, open it up, and go look at something. So what I did was I kind of went through and I pulled a couple of headlines out just to kind of see what they were saying. And, you know, Cindy had one the other day that was, and I came across it too, it was return on investment. If you sold the house, your return on investment was down.
But they made it sound like
it was a horrible thing. Yeah.
That house pricing was down, that we were backing up.
Yeah, and what it was, your return on investment dropped from 48% to 44%.
Profit.
Yeah.
Profit.
Yeah, profit.
Went
Your
from-
profit
Went
from
from
48%.
insanity to still crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and the sad part is most people don't, even if you click it, most people don't read it. They take the line and say, I don't know how many times, even just in my social circle, people say, oh, I heard so-and-so. And I'm like, read the rest of that
But they
article.
start repeating it, then
Or
somebody
you get
else
shot
repeats
a
it.
text that just has the headline in it. And it's like, oh my gosh, look at this.
Yeah.
And then you read the second paragraph and everything that they wrote before then just kind of goes by the wayside.
Yeah, well, and on the one that profits decreasing, the more we dug into it too, it wasn't even across the board thing. It was home prices in metro areas in the $300,000 price range for a set period of time. So they looked specifically at a price range in certain areas for a very limited amount of time, and found that homes went from 48% profitability to 44% profitability.
Terrible.
Yeah,
If you took a 20-year snapshot of that, that's still insane growth, insane profitability. Absolutely still a good time to sell your home. And I think some of that, again, you got to read between the lines a little bit. It's clickbait. They want you to click on it. But I think some of that is just a little bit of settlement from the crazy that we've had. But it's still really, really good. I mean, if 10 years ago I had told you 40 some odd % profitability, what would you have said to me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, no.
Like, we would have been throwing houses on the market left and right. And we've been so, I don't want to say spoiled, but, things like sub-3 interest rates and, 50% profitability on a home sale or appreciation way into the double digits. Those are not normal.
Yeah. Guys, coming up on Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody, we're going to talk more about some of the sensational headlines out there and how you need to decipher through and what you need to know about what's going on. This is Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
WGOW. An insight in a world of noise and confusion.
They say what I think, but smarter.
Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW FM.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindy Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Selling your home? If you just want it listed, you can call any agent. If you want it sold, call Cindy Richardson. Cindy runs the Richardson Group Keller Williams, which I'm sure you know by now. Who doesn't? And, of course, each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Cindy's the one I would trust if I were selling my house. They will put together an individual marketing plan for you that will give you assurance that the offer you're holding is the best offer you can or will get. And what I really like is the way they develop an individual marketing plan for you, so it isn't just sell your home and see what happens, but also helps you find your next home so you don't end up homeless. The Richardson Group's marketing system is on a whole different level than the average agent. Oh, and I need to mention this because it's important to so many. Cindy can give you an immediate cash offer for your home, so you don't have to worry about fix-ups or showings or anything if you want to go that route. Find them at RG423.com or just Google Richardson Group. That's Richardson Group. And start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing, custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindy Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Be more cyber zen. Get NordVPN. With a few simple clicks, NordVPN will block online trackers, secure your devices from malware-infected downloads, and block access to malicious websites. With NordVPN, enjoy internet without trackers, without malicious websites, without malware-ridden files. Be more cyber zen. Take advantage of our special offer now at NordVPN.com.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
You want your house sold for top dollar? The Richardson Group Keller Williams, Cindy Richardson's team, will get it done for you. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Google Richardson Group. That's Richardson Group. And start packing.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody is presented by Offers Instantly. Not all guaranteed offers are created equal. Take advantage of Offers Instantly to get the best guaranteed offer on your home in 24 hours with no showings, repairs, and best of all, no problems. Go online to offersinstantly.com or call 205-INFO for more details. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Welcome back, guys. So when we left, we were talking about some of the sensational headlines that are going around in the media right now, and Cindy's been pulling numbers from NAR and things like that. And one of the things that got me that I came across was one from The Hill. The article was titled, Americans' View of Real Estate is as the Best Investment Decline. Poll shows. So this is from May 11th. And it's funny to me when they throw these out because they compare everything to the pandemic, when we saw a massive uptick in everything. So you're comparing your regular numbers to your throwaway, your abnormal. So we jumped up to 45% that thought that, and it's gone down to 34. But the funny thing is, when they do a Gallup poll, they only ask 1,000 people.
That's exactly what I was sitting here. I was about to look up to see how many people. So out of those 1,000 people that responded, a third of them felt that real estate was still the best investment.
And that cracks me up because historically, forever, if I came to you and said you could have double-digit appreciation on your bonds, on your checking account, on anything, how many people would not be pulling every cent that they had out of Bank XYZ and putting it somewhere else? You know, it is still absolutely the single-handed best investment that you can make in our country, bar none. And I think, you know, it really, when you've been in this business as long as we have, talk about a crazy storm of 2008. Okay, we've got a surplus. We have all of these homes built. We have too many homes. The market, quote unquote, crashes. The bubble bust, whatever you want to call it. We still have not recovered from an inventory standpoint.
Shortage.
In 2023, we've lived through a pandemic. We've lived through a drastic housing crash. And it's funny, a dog just ran into the studio. Sorry, we all just stopped talking like, oh goodness.
What was that?
I love it. So, you know, when you think about the things that the American housing market has endured, it's almost humorous to me that people are like, oh, the next crash, it's coming. We're about to fall. And I'm like, we don't have it. We still, and life still happens. Life still happens. And the single best investment that you can have is to own a piece of property, to own real property. It accrues, it is successful at a rate that is unmatched by anything else. So, the fact that we're in this mindset where it's not the best investment, not the best place to put your money, well, then tell me what is. What's my option then?
Cindy and I were kind of having a conversation, and I had the kind of continuation one I had with somebody else a couple of days ago. We're talking this morning, about some things, and one of the things we said, well, how do people kind of do this? Well, they have a very short memory.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, when you talk about long-term investing, that requires patience. People don't have patience. So, and when you look at these numbers, it's when things were really good, everybody thought, oh, this is the best thing you can do. Now things have come back to normal, and that pulls itself back. But you need to realize, if you're going to have that long-term investment of a home or a property or something like that, it's going to take 5, 10, 15, 20 years to maximize that profit, especially if you're dealing in just your regular home. If you're buying your home that you own, over the last, I think NAR had it out there, over the last 10 years, you've gained $120,000 in equity over the last 10 or 12 years. That's a $10,000 a year return on your home.
If someone bought a home back in 2005 or 6, when we were in the peak of the market before, then by 2008, you had no equity. You were probably a little upside down if you, based on what you paid for your home. Not, your mortgage may not have been, depending on how much cash you put down. But then again, by 2011 or 12, you were back to being in the gray. So even if real estate goes up and down, and not that I'm saying that anything like 2008 is going to happen again, but even if it does, it's a long term. You hang in there, and it's going to come back.
I mean, real estate is a pendulum.
Yes.
Historically, you're not, unless you're in a situation where you have to move, you're in a, and even when things were quote unquote as bad as they got, we in most cases could get you out. You may not be making substantial money, but that's one thing about this area being so insular and our industry being so protected, is that when we were hit, we weren't hit. We didn't take a gut check like the rest of the country did. But, we jokingly say it, but Cindy and I both bought a house when it wasn't the right time to buy a house. I think I stayed 4 years, maybe 5 years, 6 years in that house and made money. Not hand over fist, but I made money. I was good. And I bought a house when it was a horrible time to buy a house. Cindy built a house when it was a horrible time to build a house. And how long did you stay there?
Oh, we stayed 15 years.
Substantial profit that then they were able to put into another house. But if I had come to you 5 years in and said, let's sell that house, you would have been bringing money to closing. So, and we say, if we had known now what we know then, hindsight's 2020, I would have bought every single home that I could get my hands on. Yeah. So long-term investment. And think about that when you're pulling the trigger on buying. Is it a long-term investment?
Right.
Or is it something short-term? And if it's not, for most people, buying or selling a house is about an every 2.5, 3 year proposition. Yeah. So just know that when you make that decision, make a smart financial decision so that in 2.5 to 3 years you're out. And if it's something you love and you want and it's a dream come true, know that might mean digging your heels in. But statistically, you're going to get a better return on your investment than anything else that you could do.
Yeah. So when you guys are talking to an investor, and say someone new or wanting to get into real estate investing and doing that, what are the 2 caveats that you always talk to them about? Really 2 or 3 things that you always say are the top things that you need to know going into this?
Well, I think you have to look at an investor and are they trying to flip a property, which is something you go in and you buy a distressed property, you renovate it and resell it, or are you looking at a rental, a long-term hold?
Passive income,
right.
Long-term. Yeah.
Right. So if somebody is looking to flip one, then you're not looking at you're looking at the immediate market and where the market's going over the next few months and how long it's going to get you. So you need to go in with a house that is priced below market value and be able to do the repairs and make the amount of profit you expect to make.
And in a fairly short amount of time.
Right.
We can predict the market for a certain amount of time, but not long term. The other thing that I would point to is what I'm seeing is I work with a lot of investors. We work with a lot of investors. And people that are selling investment property, it's been, again, shortage everywhere, all over the spectrum. But we have, we've used the term cash flow, and I won't go way down that rabbit hole. But everything right now it appears to be priced too high for the amount of rent that they're getting. And what you have to think about is you're dealing with someone who this was a long-term investment, passive income. Most of them have long-term, long-standing tenants who are paying the rate that they've probably been paying for years. So pay attention to what their lease agreements say. Can you increase the rent so that it's fair market value? Can you go in and maybe make some improvements to that property so that you can in turn increase the rent? And then it cash flows. So, people that are versed on this know that. I've got a long-term investor client that called and was like, let me see the paperwork. So I showed him the paperwork, and then when he reran the numbers with fair market value rent, they cash flow. It makes sense. So, don't be thrown off. I get people that call, especially first-time investors, that are like, there's no way this doesn't make money. Well, it makes money for Bob who's selling it because he's owned it for 25 years.
And if you have a property that's cash flowing monthly, you're also getting that appreciation each year of what that property is growing in value. You're not seeing that each year, but that's accumulating so that when you do go to sell it down the road, it's going to, you have the appreciation in addition to what it has made yearly.
Yeah, and again, they're not making more dirt. They're not making more multifamily lots. That we're running into a lot of that. People that want investment property, and there's only so many places due to zoning that you can put them.
Well, I saw on social media this week where somebody was saying that the owner of the home that they have rented for the last, I can't remember, it was like 5 or 6 years, is selling the home, and they cannot find anything for the amount that they were paying. So they are in a home that they were paying, I think it was like $900 a month. So if you're renting a house that is a 2 or 3 bedroom for $900 a month,
don't go anywhere ever.
Well, but that's what happens, and then the owner is no longer getting the return that they should be getting on it. So yes, they're going to sell it. But you as a renter, if you want to control that situation, then buy a property, because an investor is buying a property based on numbers. And when it no longer is satisfying the numbers, then they are going to sell it. So as a renter, if you want to protect where you're at and control your circumstances, then purchase.
Well, let's talk about no return on your investment.
Yeah.
100% interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember, too, it depends on which side of the renting situation you're on. If you are the property owner, it is a business.
Correct.
That's 100%. Now, if you're the renter, it is a lot more personal.
Right.
And I think that's where that disconnect kind of comes in, talking to a lot of renters and trying to find and things like that. But that's the thing, it's what is that fair market house worth? But the funny thing to me is, when we had Charlotte on, I pulled the state permit lists. We're actually down on single family, but up on multifamily in the state. So multifamily is becoming a big builder. Yeah. Well, and it's the need, but it's also the fact of you can get more bang for your buck out of doing multifamily construction than you can on doing single family.
When building materials were hitting their peak, that's when a lot of the builders moved into doing multifamily, because it was more cost effective than trying to do single family.
All right, guys, we're going to step away and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about some of the things that are going on in the headlines and try and break those down and explain them out for you. This is Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
WGOW. The stories that matter to you.
America's debt is out of control.
Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW FM.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindy Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Your price will include an $8.99 processing fee plus tax, tag, and title. $29.95 do it signing. See dealer for details.
Hey Chattanooga, listen to this. Integrity Mazda has 2.9% financing on new Mazdas. You heard right. And Integrity Mazda has over 60 new Mazdas in stock, with more on the way with 2.9% financing. Mazda is recommended by a top consumer publication, named Best Car Brand by U.S. News & World Report. and a top safety pick. Drive a new Mazda CS5 for as low as $319 a month on a lease purchase plan, or a new Mazda Miata with $2,000 cash back to you. The inventory is great. The deals have never been better. The full lineup is priced right and rated for you at Integrity Mazda, just in time for summer and with that 2.9% financing. At the new Integrity Mazda, Highway 153 at Shallerford Road, next to Integrity Buick GMC Cadillac, in the heart of Automotive Road. Experience the difference now at Integrity Mazda, where we promise to do the right thing first time, this time, every time.
You want your house sold for top dollar? The Richardson Group Keller Williams, Cindy Richardson's team, will get it done for you. Each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Google Richardson Group. That's Richardson Group. And start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing. Custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindy Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
You could throw your flip-flop at a bug.
Ew, a bug, get it.
But the chances of actually hitting it
Over there!
are statistically
It's still alive.
unlikely. Good thing nature's got your back. Stem bug killers combine powerful active ingredients found in plants, like lemongrass and geraniol, and scientifically engineer them into effective bug-fighting formulas, safe for use as directed around people, pets, and throughout the home. Stem, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
Talk Radio 102.3. Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody. Get your real estate questions answered on the air. Call or text the studio, 267-1023. We're also answering questions live on the Richardson Group Facebook page. I was walking back. So we've been talking about some of the crazy headlines that are out there running around. And one of the big ones that I got a couple of weeks ago, we kind of talked about it a while back. This one was from the New York Post. This is one that somebody sent me. It says, how the U.S. is subsidizing high-risk home buyers at the cost of those with good credit.
Man, bad. Things are bad.
You say that, and my phone blew up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this was from the New York Post.
Yep. And the same chart posted everywhere, and nobody actually reads it.
Yeah. So what they were talking about was the loan level pricing adjustments when you actually get your mortgage. So what they did, they went in and revalued some of the percentages, and they made it sound like that they were reducing the amount that lower credit buyers pay while increasing what others pay to make up for the difference.
That's what I heard from everybody. So you mean I get penalized because I've got good credit?
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to break it to people. It's always been staggered. It's always been staggered. We just don't. People, it's like when I go to a listing appointment, buyers care about total price. They care about what their payment is. They care about how much they can afford. But when you throw a headline out there that says new regulations, new loan level pricing penalizes people for positive credit.
And
I mean, yes, theoretically, but is that really that different from the way it's always been?
Yeah.
Well, and there's two different things out there right now,
Yeah.
correct?
There was the one that was announced in January that took effect May 1st, and that was the restructuring of just strictly based on credit and loan to value.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second was based on debt to income. Now, that was supposed to go into effect August 1st. That one has actually been walked back by the Federal Housing Finance Agency. They've walked that one back. And what that was, they were going to increase the fee charged to borrowers with debt to income ratios greater than 40%.
And until that come to light, and I've been in real estate for 24 years in the area, I did not even realize that you could buy a home with your debt ratio being over 40%. So I'm not sure what year they did it, but they increased it from 40% to 43%.
43 is what I was seeing on most
so,
of them.
and now there, because had you asked me, I would have just said 40% max, and that's your total debt ratio, not for your house payment, but your total debt ratio could not be over 40%. So now they've increased it up to 43%, but the proposed bill was if you were between that 40 and 43%, that you would get charged additional closing costs. And it's not additional interest rate, it is additional closing costs.
It's just going to be more expensive for you to close.
Correct.
Which is I'm sorry, am I that? And I admittedly am not the numbers person in this trio, but that's asinine to me.
Me too.
To even think about, like, you're already on the cusp of being able theoretically to
pay.
make your house payment. So let's charge you a whole bunch of fees. Let's charge you a whole bunch of fees at closing.
Yeah.
So, and I think the thing to remember, the thing to dial back here is we want you to buy a house. Obviously, it is our bread and butter. That's what we want you to do. But it's also our job to create long-term, lifelong relationships with our clients. And sometimes that looks like me saying, right now might not be the best time
Right,
for you.
right.
Let's work on paying down that car payment. Let's work on paying off a credit card bill so that you're not owned by your house payment every single month. So the fact that they will approve you with 43% debt to income ratio is not necessarily a positive for
Right.
everybody.
And that's why they're making it a little bit more expensive. I think the only time that it would be acceptable when you see that is sometimes people they're a little cash heavy, but then and this is what Jack and I were talking about, there are circumstances where you are cash heavy and you have good credit, but you don't, it doesn't look that
Your
way on
income
paper.
doesn't reflect
and
that.
that is a lot of times with self-employed people, because they are going to deduct absolutely everything they can deduct off of their income because they don't want to pay taxes on it. Or if you have somebody that's had some type of lifestyle change, whether that be lose a spouse or, whether that be through divorce or whatever. So they have a large chunk of cash and they have excellent credit, but their debt is a little on the high side right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, too, to look at is every situation is different. That's kind of where everybody talked about the LLPAs coming out, and you don't realize I put the charts on Facebook a couple weeks ago for everybody to kind of look at, and it was how much they went up or went down and then what the actual pricing is now. Just because yours went up a little bit doesn't mean you're paying more than someone below you, because when you look at the chart, yeah, the higher your credit is, the less you're going to pay across the board.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, where the bank is at the least amount of risk, they charge you the least, and they tend to charge you the least when they're making the most money. It's kind of where they're in that little window of the higher risk situation.
Yeah.
But, we talk about being house poor all the time with people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do not want to be house poor. You don't want to be making your vacation decisions or
What
thinking
you can
about
spend at the
the
grocery store.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's just about the fact that you can do nothing but sit at home.
Right.
Can you afford your house and your groceries and your gas and to get back and forth to work? Yes, but that's all you can afford. Yeah. Maybe that looks a little more like educating and working through options and talking through. We're in this with you for the long haul. So, I can tell you more than a handful of times where I've said, let's put pen to paper and make sure that this makes sense right now.
Yeah.
for
Well, and
you.
I think we have to start with educating our youth. They need to know, because so many of them come out of school, whether that's, straight out of high school into the workforce or out of college into the workforce. And one of the first things they usually do is buy a car. And they're going to get, something fancy, maybe a little more than what they should be getting. And they need to know about debt ratio. And, sometimes I think the school systems don't do as good of a job as they should about talking about debt ratio and explaining circumstances
Just
to
financial
kids.
literacy in general.
Yeah.
And they're a generation that really their parents have had a long time of historically insanely low interest rates. Want something, get it right now, easy to attain, and I'm blessed. I jokingly call myself the accident baby, but I was born, my father was in his mid-40s when I was born. So a different generation, our parents got out of school, went to work, saved a 20% down payment. It was a different school of thought where even my generation, and then especially my sons, they're in a world where you go to high school, you go straight to college, you, in most cases, get a huge chunk of student loan debt, you buy a car, you are supposed to buy a house, there's no money down, there's no skin in the game. All those things are great, but not when you're so tanked out on debt. I mean, I had a client who above 700 credit score, a very good job, young person straight out of school making, $70,000 a year on paper, fantastic buyer. Car payment was over $2,000 a month.
Oh, wow. Oh,
$2,000 a month. You don't qualify to buy a house because you spent $70,000 on a new car because you needed it right then, and I'm not saying you got to give up something you really want, but you have to pick and choose what's important.
Right.
I think financial literacy has been the biggest thing for us. I chair the Association Culture and Diversity Committee, and as we've reached out to groups in the community to find what they really need, that has been the number one request, because we talk about our generations from mid-70s and up, and then you've got 90s parents that have come up in this, and that's the biggest killer right now, and that is there's just no financial literacy.
Right.
Because I grew up in high school around Army bases, and you would always see the new guys come in, and you would ride by the Army base, and it's nothing but Mustangs and Camaros, because they go to the car lot, and that's what the car dealer tells you I can get you into.
Well, and you can.
Yeah.
You just can't buy anything else.
Exactly.
So, and they're taught, my 20-year-old son called me on the phone, and they are taught at school, go get a credit card. Go get a credit card. Build your credit. Yes, build your credit, but let's do it responsibly. Let's talk through it. That doesn't mean go get yourself into debt.
Right.
That's not necessarily the right way to do it. So it's sad. That's a sad conversation to have with a buyer who on paper qualifies, but their debt to income ratio is so out of whack. So all that to say, not to fall down a rabbit hole, just because it looks like you're going to pay more because you have good credit isn't necessarily the way that shakes out.
Yeah.
And we want you to buy a house, but we want you to be smart about it so that when you go to sell it, when you need to sell it because life changes, and it will. How many people buy a house and tell you that's going to be forever?
Right. And it's not going to be forever. It's your stage of life home. And young people need to know that too. If they are buying a home, you're not going to get, well, not just young people, everybody, depending on your stage of life, you're probably not going to get everything that you want. So many times I see people that will say, they need to stay within a certain budget, and they have 2 children, so they want a 3-bedroom, 3-bath with a bonus room, all for under, $250. And that's going to be a very, very difficult find. And
with no cosmetic work.
Yeah, it's the stage of life home. I can remember when growing up and my family was young, we all shared a bathroom. I mean, that was very normal to share a bathroom. And all of a sudden, people think that you can't share a bathroom anymore.
Yeah. So it's just about, again, reach out to somebody you trust, whether that's a lender, a realtor, something of that sort. Let us help educate you on the best way to make your goals happen. That's what we're here for.
All right, we're going to step away and take a quick break. When we come back on Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody, we're going to flip it up. We're going to talk about some trends that they would like to see return and some trends they would like to see go away. This is Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody on Talk Radio 102.3.
If you heard about it at lunch, we were talking about it last week. Ahead of the conversation curve, this is WGOW-FM 102.3, The Talk Monster.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing, custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindy Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Sportsmen, shooting enthusiasts, and public safety professionals. For over 50 years, we have been your #1 stop best prices on apparel, holsters, flashlights, and more. Look no further than GT Distributors. Celebrate GT Day's sales event with the best prices on everything you need to gear up and get out. This is going to be bigger than ever, and it's happening only at GT Distributors Friday and Saturday, May 19th and 20th. 2 days only, and you'll save 20% off select brands. That's 20% off top brands like Gerber, Safariland, and Magpul. Come meet factory reps, hourly door prices, and a firearm giveaway on both days. Don't miss our 50th anniversary sale at 100 McFarland Avenue, Rossville, Georgia. Showroom hours are Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, visit gtdist.com. Restrictions apply. Sale excludes guns, ammo, optics, Surefire, Wellen.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City by marketing luxury homes to the most qualified buyers. What makes the difference today in your area? The same thing, custom marketing to the right buyers. In Chattanooga, the agent I trust is Cindy Richardson. Her personalized marketing plan attracts more buyers and sells more homes for more money. She can even give you an instant offer. Get the best marketing for your home. Go to RG423.com and put more money in your pocket.
Hey Chattanooga, listen to this. Integrity Buick GMC Cadillac has 0.9% financing on new GMC Sierras. You heard it right. Integrity has plenty of new GMC Sierras in stock and more on the way with 0.9% financing on select models. GMC is professional grade and Integrity Buick GMC Cadillac is your volume dealer. The full line of GMC, Buick, and Cadillac is priced right and ready for you at Integrity Buick GMC Cadillac. That's right, financing as low as 0.9% and no payments for 90 days. The Integrity lot is full of Sierras, Buicks, and Cadillacs with below market pricing and below market financing. The time is right, the time is now for you to get a great deal at Integrity Buick GMC Cadillac, Highway 153 at Shallerford Road in the heart of Automotive Road. Integrity Buick GMC Cadillac, where we promise to do the right thing first time, this time, every time.
Selling your home? If you just want it listed, you can call any agent. If you want it sold, call Cindy Richardson. Cindy runs the Richardson Group Keller Williams, which I'm sure you know by now. Who doesn't? And, of course, each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. Cindy's the one I would trust if I were selling my house. They will put together an individual marketing plan for you that will give you assurance that the offer you're holding is the best offer you can or will get. And what I really like is the way they develop an individual marketing plan for you, so it isn't just sell your home and see what happens, but also helps you find your next home so you don't end up homeless. The Richardson Group's marketing system is on a whole different level than the average agent. Oh, and I need to mention this because it's important to so many. Cindy can give you an immediate cash offer for your home, so you don't have to worry about fix-ups or showings or anything if you want to go that route. Find them at RG423.com or just Google Richardson Group. That's Richardson Group. And start packing.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to Real Estate Today with Cindy and Jody. So we've been talking this morning about sensational headlines, half-truths, and blind facts in the media and what you need to know. So let's have a little bit of fun since we kind of covered all of that stuff. What are some trends that you would like to see come back around?
Come back around or get rid of?
Yeah, that you'd like to see come back. It'd be colors, styles, architecture, construction, anything
It's way easier to say the stuff we don't like.
Okay, let's start there. What are some things you would like to see go away? I
I'm very glad that dark hardwood floor trend is not as popular, only because when dealing with listings with dark floors, you have to constantly clean the floors, or you see where everybody has walked.
And I'm probably in the minority, but I'm over gray. I'm glad everything is not gray anymore.
I'll agree with that.
I lean more towards warmer tones than cooler tones, so I struggled a little bit with that. Let me think. What else? I watched this as just kind of a funny side note. Being in and out of houses a lot this week, I went in a house that had carpet in the bathroom. On what planet?
I love it.
What planet did we think that carpet around a toilet and a bathtub was ever a good idea?
My favorite one on that side is when you have the master bedroom or a bedroom that has the sink and vanity in the bedroom, and it's all carpeted up to it.
Yeah, because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do is, wash my face and brush my teeth in the same room with my significant other at 6 o'clock in the morning. That makes sense. But things that we're glad are back. I think it's funny. Like we were laughing the other day about Cindy's in the process of a new build, and the things that were popular, that are not popular, that are now popular again. We jokingly, especially in the Cleveland area, we can walk in a house and tell you what builder built it and what year it was built, by paint colors, hardwood floors.
I think we're starting to see less specialty, less cathedral ceilings and tall ceilings. So I'm glad to see that one go away, because that, to me, is a huge waste of space when you have 15, 20-foot ceilings in a home, and you can bank on the utility bills being astronomical. So I'm really glad to see that we're doing specialty ceilings, but we're dropping them down to anywhere from 9, 10-foot ceilings, but we're doing trays and coffered and different things, and not those big tall ceilings.
And I've always been drawn more to that traditional extensive trim specialty ceilings. That's more kind of what I've been drawn to historically. And I may take a little flack for this. Cindy might knock me out when I say this, but I'm kind of digging the not full-on wallpaper your house by any means, but I'm kind of digging the powder room with wallpaper. The one
that's been around for a while. And have you seen the 3D wallpaper?
Yeah, I'm kind of digging all that texture, and
I went into
like
one that looked like it was leather, tucked. So, and I actually touched the wallpaper to see, because it looked so real.
Yeah.
So I think it's style versus gaudy on that, and I think with wallpaper, the tendency for everybody was to be as gaudy as possible and as many different prints and colors as possible.
I mean, I have one right now that they're working on flipping to listing. There is wallpaper. They took the plates off and wallpapered them individually and put them back.
Do you know how time consuming that was?
Yes, and I'm thinking that
worked very, very hard on that.
And plastered the wallpaper on. So when you pull it off, you take a hunk of sheetrock.
My mom was the woman when it came to hanging wallpaper. She could hang that stuff and match up the seams, and she did a great job.
Nope, I can't do it.
I've always kind of been drawn to that,
specialty
stuff. Yeah, we're out.
All right. Guys, thanks so much for listening today. If you missed a part of today's show, watch the replay of this show and others on the Richardson Group Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can also listen to us on Spotify. If you